In the summer of 1763, in a quiet village in Shepton Mallet, Somerset, England, a chilling mystery unfolded that still baffles historians, investigators, and paranormal enthusiasts alike. Owen Parfitt, an elderly man, well known for his frail, paralyzed condition, mysteriously vanished from the very chair he had been sitting in outside his home. The eerie part of this disappearance is that Owen, despite his physical limitations, was not seen moving, and no one heard a sound as he simply disappeared into the night. The case remains one of the most perplexing and eerie disappearances in British history. But was this a case of foul play, or does something more sinister lie beneath the surface? In this video, we delve deep into the strange disappearance of Owen Parfitt, examining the facts, exploring the baffling theories, and offering a glimpse into the haunting story that has endured for centuries. Let's take a journey back to 1763, into the heart of this unsolved mystery. Owen Parfitt was not just any ordinary man. He was someone whose life had already been burdened with suffering long before his strange disappearance. Born in Shepton Mallet, a small market town in Somerset, Owen's life was marked by adversity. In his later years, Owen became severely paralyzed due to an illness or injury, and it was said that he was unable to move independently. His condition left him largely confined to a chair, unable to do anything for himself. In those days, the medical community wasn't advanced enough to offer much hope, and Owen's health continued to decline. Despite his limitations, Owen still managed to live a relatively quiet life. He was not entirely isolated. His sister, Betty Parfitt, and other family members helped care for him, ensuring that his needs were met. It's said that Owen would spend his days sitting outside his modest cottage, facing the road, watching people go by. His chair became a familiar sight to those in the community, as Owen was often seen by locals and passers-by, sitting outside in the fresh air, despite his disability. His routine was well known and unremarkable, until that fateful night in June 1763. On the evening of June 3, 1763, everything appeared to be normal in Shepton Mallet. Owen Parfitt was once again sitting outside his house, as he often did, on a clear evening. The house where Owen lived was a simple, humble abode, situated just off the main street. The warm summer night enveloped the town, and the peaceful atmosphere seemed to be a fitting backdrop for what would soon become one of the most perplexing disappearances in history. Owen's chair, the one he'd spent countless hours in, was placed near the front door. At some point during the evening, however, something extraordinary happened. Owen Parfitt, the man who couldn't move on his own, seemingly vanished without a trace. His sister Betty, who had been inside the house, later reported that she saw no unusual activity and heard nothing out of the ordinary. The front door was still open, and the chair was still in its usual spot, but Owen was nowhere to be found. His disappearance was discovered only when his sister went outside to check on him. She found the chair, but Owen was gone. There was no sign of a struggle, no sign that he had left the area, and no indication that he had been moved. It was as if he had simply vanished into thin air. There were no footprints, no drag marks, no clues, nothing that might suggest what had happened to him. The initial shock was followed by immediate action. Family members and neighbors launched a frantic search for Owen, hoping to find him, but to no avail. The area around his home was thoroughly scoured, but there was no sign of the elderly man. The streets were empty, the nearby fields were quiet, and the surrounding woods revealed no clues. The chair, the only tangible piece of evidence that Owen had been there, stood alone in the place where it had always been. A more thorough search was conducted, stretching to the nearby village of Mendip and extending into the countryside. Despite these efforts, no trace of Owen Parfitt was ever discovered. What's even more baffling is that Owen had been unable to move on his own due to his paralysis. For someone to have taken him, it would have required assistance. Yet no one reported seeing any strange activity, and there were no eyewitnesses who could recall anything unusual happening. The disappearance of Owen Parfitt quickly became a source of intense speculation and wild theories. How could a paralyzed man, who was unable to move without help, simply vanish? The lack of evidence and the strange circumstances surrounding his disappearance sparked a range of possible explanations, some rational, others more fantastical. Foul play and kidnapping. One of the first theories to arise was that someone had taken Owen against his will. This could have been an act of foul play, where a person, perhaps a thief or someone with malicious intent, abducted the elderly man. However, considering Owen's condition, it would have required effort to move him. The absence of any witnesses or sounds, coupled with the lack of any signs of struggle, made this theory seem unlikely. Why would someone abduct a frail, paralyzed man with no apparent reason? The paranormal explanation. Another popular theory, and one that has captivated many, is the paranormal explanation. Was Owen taken by a supernatural force? Some believe that Owen's disappearance was linked to ghosts or spirits that may have inhabited the land. Given that Shepton Mallet is known for its rich history, dating back to Roman times, some speculate that Owen may have been the victim of a spectral presence, dragged away in the dead of night by forces beyond human comprehension. But again, this theory is purely speculative, and there's no concrete evidence to support such an extraordinary claim. Psychological breakdown. A more grounded theory suggests that Owen may have suffered from some kind of psychological breakdown, which led him to wander off without anyone noticing. Perhaps, in a confused and delusional state, Owen tried to leave the house on his own, and despite his paralysis, found a way to move. However, this theory doesn't account for the fact that Owen was never seen leaving, and no one heard or saw anything unusual. Additionally, there is no evidence that Owen had any history of mental illness or confusion prior to his disappearance. Staged disappearance. Some theorists have proposed that Owen himself staged his disappearance. In this theory, Owen, tired of his life of confinement, decided to fake his own death or vanish in a bid for freedom. The idea that he may have planned it with the help of someone else remains intriguing, yet unproven. If Owen did stage his own disappearance, however, he would have had to enlist help, and this would have involved careful planning, yet there were no signs of any such preparations. A secret escape. Lastly, there's a theory that suggests Owen was assisted in escaping his life of confinement. This theory suggests that a person or group helped Owen escape, possibly offering him the chance for a better life elsewhere. While this is a fascinating possibility, the lack of evidence and the failure to find any trace of Owen raises serious questions about whether it's a plausible explanation. The case of Owen Parfitt's disappearance remains one of the most enduring unsolved mysteries in British history. To this day, no one has been able to explain how the elderly, paralyzed man could have vanished so completely. Even after extensive searches involving local authorities and community members, no trace of Owen was ever found. He was never seen again, and his fate remains a haunting mystery. Some still wonder if he was taken by supernatural forces, while others believe that the answer lies within the realm of the human mind, a tragic accident or a carefully executed escape. As time has passed, the story of Owen Parfitt's disappearance has evolved into a legend, becoming a piece of local folklore in Shepton Mallet and Somerset. His vanishing has become a cautionary tale of the strange and the unknown, and it continues to intrigue people who seek to solve the riddle. Despite the passage of centuries, Owen Parfitt's case remains open, waiting for someone, perhaps you, to uncover the truth. Was he the victim of a cruel crime, a supernatural event, or did he simply vanish of his own accord? The mystery of Owen Parfitt is one that may never be solved, but it continues to haunt those who hear it, leaving an eerie reminder of the unexplainable mysteries that still lie just beyond the reach of human understanding. As we reflect on the bizarre case of Owen Parfitt's disappearance, we are left with more questions than answers. It's a case that has intrigued generations of people, captivated by its eerie nature and its complete lack of explanation. The Vanishing of Owen Parfitt is a chilling reminder that not all mysteries can be solved, and some will remain elusive forever. Do you think Owen Parfitt was the victim of foul play? Or do you think there's something even more sinister at play? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. And if you found this case as captivating as we did, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you won't miss any more intriguing mysteries from history.